Okay. Well, good afternoon, everybody. We want to thank you all for coming out. It's important uh, for us to talk about a lot of things that are happening in our Parks and Recreation Department, and we're certainly excited about that. I want to thank our City Council for working with us to make sure we had the necessary funds to address some of the changes and improvements we want to make in our Parks and Recreation program just overall. But we're here at Buddy Watson Park today because since the tornado, uh, we rebuilt and renovated the fields at this park. It's certainly part of our broader plan again to invest in our facilities over $50 million in the Montgomery Forward initiative into community centers, infrastructure, and public safety. You'll see between fields number two and number three, we have new scoreboards. Coca Cola, we want to thank them for that, as well as new fencing. So when you think about a field, it's a lot more than just the grass you play on. It's the aesthetics, it's the look, it's the overall atmosphere. And we're trying to create best in class parks and recreation department with that. Out here, we also have 8 new batting cages as well as new netting. And so it just goes to, I think, highlight our commitment to building and investing best in class facilities. Again, not just at this particular park, but across our entire city. And we understand the economic impact that these facilities generate while underscoring the community impact that they have as well. But part of our community focus includes reopening community centers, relaunching these parks and recreation youth sports leagues. And just as a reminder, we've completed an extensive assessment of our community centers with Jacobs Engineering. And you can find that online at montgomeryal.gov. The data tells us something that we've known, that our community centers are failing our residents. Only 5 of 23 community centers were assessed in good or fair condition. That's only 20% of our facilities. Settling for good or fair is really how we got here. And we don't want to settle any longer. So we're now in this process of beginning the bidding and construction process, and our goal is to complete the work in the immediate future. One newsworthy piece of this is our therapeutic recreational activities, including the horseback riding program. It's been a program that has received a lot of questions. We've got a lot of response about. But I'm pleased to report that we'll finish the testing and planning phase for our restructured riding program on May the 22nd. We'll then be ready to take the program public again by early June. This is great news not only for those who participated, but those who certainly want to bring more young people to this opportunity. And as mentioned, we also understand, again, the overall economic impact of these facilities. And right now we have several big ongoing projects and updates, including new turf at Crampton Bowl. But that's not all we'll be looking to do at the Bowl before we have the Guardians Kickoff Classic. We'll be looking to change the aesthetics there, the overall feel, the technology, and the sound at Crampton Bowl. We want a much liver atmosphere, and an atmosphere that has more energy not only for our college games and the universities that come along with them, but also for our high school teams that play there each and every week. So from the music to the scoreboard to the look, the wraps, end zone, seating, all of those things will be a little bit different this year when you come to Crampton Bowl. And again, it's all part of creating and changing more so the in-game experience that you have at all of our facilities around Montgomery. But we're not just focused on the athletic facilities. As relates to Oak Park renovations, we're currently removing dead trees, pruning and planting new trees, new landscaping, new amenities for families and community members to enjoy barbecues while walking, exercising, and more. And we're also ready to announce some of the improvements that we're going to be making to Lagoon Park, as well as a soon-to-be-announced plan for a brand new state-of-the-art planetarium at the Montgomery Zoo. The feasibility study is done. The scope of work is being delivered next week, and we should have a final plan in place before summer. Now, I want to get to the Impulse program. When we think about reinvesting in our facilities, in our community centers, we are cognizant of the need for wraparound programming and activities. It's not just enough for us to put on new paint and for us to bring in new big screens, new flat screen TVs, or even to bring in new furniture and new equipment. We have to have the type of involvement and programming that young people, adults, as well as seniors are looking for today. And so we're looking forward to advancing our initiatives in this space to make community centers a 21st century destination, to make them a place where health and wellness, along with financial literacy, all the way to spiritual improvement can be accomplished. We don't want these to be the old brick and mortar community centers of maybe even my day. They have to be a more modern, contemporary community center that encompasses where our community is right now, and more importantly, where we want our residents to be moving forward. I also want to let you know there are plans for the city to get back into youth sports. And in doing so, our goal is to make sure that some of our best in public safety, the guys who look like they can get out on the field and on the court, the ladies who look like they can get out on the field as well, the firefighters, as well as our police officers, are out there engaged in our youth sports. As role models and mentors and as coaches, we think they have a lot they can contribute. And I certainly want to thank our police and fire chiefs for their encouragement and their enthusiasm for trying to build this partnership. And so we want to continue to do that, but just a small part of that is not only partnering with youth leagues, but it also includes Montgomery Police Athletic and Activities League. Recently, we launched the Police Athletic League, and this initiative provides a safe and affordable program in places for children and teens when they are not in school. It's a partnership between MPD and many community stakeholders that creates an environment where caring adults offer thoughtfully designed activities to help our youth succeed and really make better lifestyle and overall choices. Helps them grow and to be happy and productive adults. We do this through an approach that includes mentoring, sports, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, or STEAM, life skills, cultural arts, and other constructive activities that provide alternatives. At this time, I'd like to ask Lieutenant Willie Stewart, who led our effort to bring this nationwide program to Montgomery, to share just a little bit more. Lieutenant Stewart.
Thank you. I'd like to say good afternoon to everyone. I want to thank Mayor for his great leadership and giving me an opportunity to speak to you about the PAIR program, which is the Police Athletic Activities League of Montgomery. We are a 501c3 non-youth serving nonprofit that enriches the lives of so many kids by building positive relationship between kids, cops, and the community. Through education, like the mayor said, outreach, team leadership, and athletics. Athletic is not the only base to our program. Every child and every kid is not going to get a chance to go off to the NFL or go off to college, but we would like to provide them with some type of skills that will help them be productive citizens in this city and throughout the country. PAL is looking to build a better future by building the gap between kids, cops, and community. We try to facilitate a new dialogue with the next generation. We challenge presumptions and we promote mentorship. And it's through this simple process with real people, we believe that lives are changed and by it being everyone counts, and we believe that every child matters, no matter their race, their gender, what zip code they may live in. Every child matters when it comes to PAL. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. I want to thank Lieutenant Stewart for his great work, an example of all of our men and women at MPD. This is very, very important for us to build the type of trust and transparency that we'd all like to see between our police department, our public safety overall, and our community. And you do this by breaking down some of the barriers and building bridges. And this is one of the ways that we're looking to do that. So I will also want to move right along to a few other items, and then I'll finalize my remarks and open up for any questions that we may have. We're still accepting registrations for our Summer Community Center programming. A few of the activities we like to highlight today. June 10th, Free Family Fishing Day at Gateway Park. You can't help but catch a fish at Gateway Park. Now, if you come out to Gateway Park on June 10th, you can't catch a fish, then you probably ought to go back to sleep. We make it real easy and real fun for you. We fill up the pond with a whole lot of fish, and if you can't catch them, then I don't know what you got on your hook. Certainly, it may not be the bait; it may be the fisherman himself. But that's always a lot of fun on June the 10th. But on June 13th, we also at the Crump Community Center will host the University of Miami John P. Hussman Institute for Human Genomics Dawn Alzheimer's Research event. Very important, not just to our seniors, but to all of us who understand those that are dealing with Alzheimer's or have been impacted by it. On June 21st, there's a burger cook-off, at Oak Park. So those who think they have the best burgers, one way to find out. You can come and put yours to the test, and we can see whether or not you can meet the overall expectations of the judges who have a discriminate palate. On July the 7th, Summer Teen Series, ages 13 to 17, Friday Night Slam Jam at Goodwin Community Center in partnership with Montgomery Police Department. On July the 12th, Outdoor Adventure will also be held at Gateway Park. On July 22nd, Summer Teen Series, ages 13 through 17, Summer Splash at Gunner Pool in partnership with MPD. July 26th, Line Dancing Contest at the Multiplex. That ought to bring out a lot of people. And on July 27th, Starbase 2.0 Drone Competition in partnership with Maxwell Air Force Base. I think one of my sons thinks that he can be a drone pilot. We'll see about that. We'll give him a little bit of time to get ready. And then July 29th, just as folks are getting ready to get back to school, after school registration and back to school kickoff at Oak Park in partnership with the Montgomery Police Department. All of this information is on our website, as well as our Parks and Recreation digital hub called funinmontgomery.com, and you can also follow this information on the city's social media page. Now, while we're discussing new programming and early intervention strategies, we also need to highlight the violence intervention and interruption initiatives that succeed in building new partnerships and trust within the community. In almost 2 years, the Office of Violence Prevention has cultivated relationships across the city that have helped solve numerous violent crimes. They've done this through a steady approach in which they canvass the community, going door to door to offer a hand and resources. This work pays off when we're trying to find leads on violent offenders and those who have chosen the wrong acts and the wrong response in line with other things that are happening in a negative fashion in our neighborhoods. This Saturday, the Office of Violence Prevention and several community partners will hold a Stop the Violence anniversary at 11 a.m. at Oak Park. Now, I want to make sure that our jobs and internship program is also highlighted. Our process has been very successful. We've hired 50 students as summer assistants, and we're now onboarding all of them. These summer assistants are 16 to 24 years old who meet Alabama Department of Human Resources Family Assistance Income Guidelines, helping working families, young Montgomeryans looking for job experience that can add to their resume and introduce them to new skill set. The Mayor's Internship Program. We've also brought back the Mayor's Internship Program, and our application begins on May the 19th, which is next week. We're looking for college-age students who can work at least 25 hours a week from June the 5th through August the 18th. And they won't be doing coffee runs, but they may help us get a little bit more acclimated to TikTok. That won't be all, though, that they'll be doing. They'll be learning a lot more about city government, and we'll be learning a lot more from them about ways that we can improve our approach, maybe even to make it more expedient and efficient. So they'll work on projects and tasks to provide research and staff assistance to city managers, help complete grant applications, compile and analyze data, improve constituent relations, and plan city events in departments such as finance, communications, legal economic development, neighborhood services, grants, IT, and cultural affairs. The salaries will start at just a little bit over $11 an hour. I do want to just mention this before I wrap up. We've got a lot happening right here in our city. Really, we've got a lot happening for the next few weeks, but I'm just going to talk about what we have happening through Saturday. National Night Out, those grants are due soon, and the National Night Out will be celebrated this year on August the 1st. And National Night Out is a community building campaign that promotes police community partnerships and neighborhood camaraderie to make our neighborhoods safer, with more caring places to live. Neighborhood Services is also accepting grant applications for National Night Out for neighborhoods hosting a National Night Out event. Grants must be submitted by 4 p.m. on Friday, May the 12th. Now, for the weekend events, very quickly. The 11th Annual Riverbend Brewfest, Friday at Union Station Train Shed, $25 for tickets. And if you're a non-drinker, those tickets are free. Chairs and pets are also welcome. Second Saturday, featuring food vendors, arts and crafts, and the Tyson Foods Fireworks Spectacular. I saw and heard some of it last night, and I know it's going to be a great show for everyone this Saturday. Live entertainment from the Stolen Faces with special guests, Alabama Blues Hall of Fame member Slim Barnes, and sponsors Guardian Credit Union, Blue Water Broadcasting, Bennett Hospitality Group, Red Bluff Bar, and Tyson Foods. And so with all that, you can see what we have going on in the city, both from community outreach, our parks and recreation programs, our community building initiatives through Montgomery Police Department, but also what we have coming up. And there's so many events and so many things going on. We want to make sure that the public is aware of them, participates, and gets involved in somewhere or some way, shape, form, or fashion in this community to have a little bit of fun. The school year is winding down, and so we know that means summer activities are ramping up. And we want people to know there are a lot of activities right here in our own backyard for them to enjoy and participate in. We want to thank everybody for coming out, thank everybody for their work. And at this time, if there are any questions, I'll be more than happy to take them at this time. Well, Red Bluff Bar is a inner space just above the amphitheater, and it's one of those places that we want to highlight as somewhere where you can kind of go along the river right now, get food, get you something to eat, and it's also someplace you can get you something to drink, to make sure that whether it's during the day or if it's later at night, you can take in some live music, you can go down with some coworkers or friends, and it's a space that we wanted to reactivate as a way to bring in more traffic and more energy to the amphitheater. And speaking of, if you didn't see the pictures from the R&B Blues picnic this past Sunday, you ought to take a look at that because we had well over 5,000 people turn out to the amphitheater in what was a fantastic event put on by Paul Davis Entertainment and others who just did a phenomenal job. And we want to utilize the amphitheater more like that, not just on the weekends, but during the week, for all genres of music, for all opportunities for entertainment. And so we welcome any suggestions and any ideas and feedback. So not only can we have things like that every now and then, but we can have it more consistently. And part of our initiative with Red Bluff Bar is to make sure that they're an active partner and we're an engaged partner in what they're doing to bring entertainment and to bring food and drinks back to the riverfront.
Mayor, you talked a little bit about youth programs and summer registrations. Are parents able to go online in one specific place and register their children, or would they need to do it community?
No, they can go right online in montgomeryal.gov under our Parks and Recreation Department. We'll put a special tab up there to make it even easier and for it to stand out a little more for those parents that are looking for things for not only their children, but also maybe for themselves and maybe even for the seniors that they're taking care of in their church, in their community, or even in their home. We want to make sure that there's programming for everyone in these community centers, and our Parks and Recreation folks have been planning for that for several months now. So I look forward to the summer rollout, and I look forward to some of the activities that we'll be seeing. Well, our challenges in filling jobs with the city of Montgomery probably has more to do with the process than it has to do with those that are applying. And that's one of the reasons why we have a local bill before the legislature, both the city and the county do, to change the personnel department to an HR department to make hiring a lot more effective and to make the recruiting and retention process much better than what it is right now. So right now we've got a 2-year register that you have to go through in order to get to a candidate, and that can be very, very cumbersome, time-consuming, and just inefficient when you're trying to fill jobs from an admin assistant to a rec aide all the way to someone who's working on our street maintenance team or right here in our Parks and Recreation Department. All right.
Internship program make that hiring process a little easier for you guys? You can kind of pull from that pool that you already know.
The goal is for the interns to be future leaders in the city of Montgomery and to start that pipeline no different than it would be in any corporate setting. And it is also to make sure that our young people have an opportunity to take a look at how the city functions, how it runs in different departments, and really just what coming to work looks like. What does that require and what does that entail day in and day out? And so we've had great success with some of our past interns going on to fantastic opportunities. We want them to come back to Montgomery and come back, maybe if they aren't working for the city, to work for someone here. But we have had a lot of talent out of our local schools and our local community. We're really proud of them. All right. Well, if that's it, thank you so much again for coming out. I really appreciate all the great work y'all do. Thank you and have a great day.